I want to talk about using conversion factors, and we're going to look at a couple of examples today. I want to start by looking at converting 531 yards to centimeters. And to do that, we're going to need a couple of conversion factors. We're going to need to know that 1 mile equals 1760 yards. We're going to need to know the relationship between kilometers and miles, centimeters and meters, and also kilometers and meters. If we start with our 531 yards and we multiply that by our first conversion factor to convert that to miles, 1 mile over 1760 yards, you'll notice that the yards cancel and we're left with units of miles. If we then multiply that by our second conversion factor to convert miles to kilometers, 1 kilometer over 0.62 miles, miles cancel this time, and we're left with kilometers. We can then convert our kilometers to meters. 1 times 10 to the third meters per 1 kilometer, and our kilometers we can cross out, leaving us with meters. And finally, if we multiply by our last conversion factor, 1 centimeter equals 1 times 10 to the negative 2 meters, we can cancel out meters, and we're left with the units of centimeters, which is what we want. And when we do that answer, or do that calculation I should say, we find that the answer is 4.9 times 10 to the 4th centimeters. I want to look at a second example, and in that second example what we're going to be doing is we're going to start with the speed of light in terms of meters per second, and we're going to convert that to kilometers per hour. And the conversion factors we need for this are 1 kilometer equals 1 times 10 to the third meters, and then we're going to need some conversion factors for time. 60 seconds equals 1 minute, and 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So if we start with our speed of light in terms of meters per second, and I've written that as 2.998 times 10 to the 8th meters per 1 second. That's what meters per second means. And we multiply that by 1 kilometer equals 1 times 10 to the third meters. Meters cancel. We're left with kilometers. Then we take into account our two time conversion factors, 60 seconds over 1 minute and 60 minutes over 1 hour. Seconds cancels out seconds, and minutes cancel out minutes, and what we're left with is kilometers an hour, or kilometers per hour, which is what we want, and that comes out to be equal to 1.079 times 10 to the 9th kilometers per hour. You'll notice I wrote that to 4 significant figures. That's because this number is to 4 significant figures, and all of my conversion factors here are exact numbers. I know that there's exactly 60 seconds per minute and exactly 60 minutes per hour, exactly 1 kilometer per 1 times 10 to the third meters. Those numbers have infinite number of significant figures because I know them exactly. So the least number of significant figures I have is here at 4.